Imagine for a moment you're juggling, I don't know, 100 things. Stress at work, family stuff, trying to eat right, find some peace. What if the real secret to managing it all, improving your relationships, boosting your health, and maybe even finding your true purpose? What if it wasn't about thinking harder, but about feeling deeper? What if there's like this other brain inside you, way more powerful than you ever imagined? Today, we're diving deep into a really remarkable book by Kimberly Snyder, The Hidden Power of the Five Hearts. And look, this isn't just another self-help guide. It's this amazing bridge between, ancient wisdom and some really cutting-edge modern science. Our mission for you, our listeners, is to kind of unpack the science and the spirituality behind what we call heart intelligence. We'll explore these 5 stages of heart awakening she talks about and offer you practical insights, simple lifestyle tips you can start using, like right away, to unlock your own brilliant heart. Think of it as maybe a shortcut to peace, abundance, and just this profound inner connection.
It's an incredible journey. It really is. And it starts by rethinking an organ we often just take for granted. You see, our sources, they reveal the heart isn't just this muscular pump pushing blood around. Not at all. It actually contains this complex network of 40,000 neurons. They call them brain-like cells. And what's truly amazing, really, is that this heart brain, it sends more messages to your actual brain than your brain sends back to it.
Whoa, wait. More messages to the brain.
Yeah. Which immediately makes you stop and think,
That,
okay, what kind of intelligence does it actually hold then?
that's a really powerful idea. It makes you think maybe we've, I don't know, underestimated its role quite a bit. And what's so fascinating to me is how this idea, the heart as a center of wisdom, it isn't new. Like,
Yeah.
at all. It cuts across time, across cultures.
Exactly. You find it everywhere.
Yeah.
Our sources point out it's mentioned, get this, 878 times in the modern Bible.
878 times.
Yeah. And it's central to the Heart Sutra in Buddhism, the Sacred Heart in Catholicism. In the Islamic Quran, the term qalb, which means heart, appears 132 times. Then you've got the wisdom of the heart in Judaic tradition, and of course the Anahata chakra in Hindu and yogic traditions. That's the energy center for love, compassion.
Right, the heart chakra.
So this universal recognition, it really points to something deep, some shared human understanding that the heart holds, well, something profound, something beyond just the physical pumping.
Okay, so when we talk about heart intelligence then, what are we actually defining? What does that really mean?
Well, it's described in a few ways. Energetic, emotional, mental, spiritual, and physical. It's all of it. It's about getting into what they call heart coherence,
So heart coherence.
which is basically just an optimal state where your heart and brain are aligned, they're working together. And when you're in that coherent state, you tap into the heart's, let's say, deeper wisdom and let it actually guide your life. It becomes this kind of flow and intuitive guidance system that's always there for you.
For so many of us, and I definitely include myself here, we operate as what Kimberly Snyder calls obsessive overthinkers.
Oh, yeah. Been there.
Right. Our minds, our egos, they can just flood us with thousands, literally thousands of thoughts every day. And often a lot of them are just not true or limiting. Thoughts like you aren't good enough or you'll never figure this out. This wild horse mind, as she calls it, it's linear. It's always comparing. It's pretty limited, actually. And it leads to confusion, feeling drained, unhappy, and just this roller coaster of emotions like anger, fear, jealousy.
And it shows up physically too, right?
Exactly. That's what's striking. It can manifest as like chronic constipation, bloating, even grinding your jaw at night.
It's such a stark contrast to how the heart works. The heart offers this totally different perspective. It clears out old blocks, unhelpful patterns, but it does it non-linearly. Sometimes, like bam.
Immediately.
Like that quick.
Sometimes. She gives examples, like people struggling with weight for years suddenly shedding pounds just by healing the root emotional thing behind the eating. Or people who are just chronically angry finding this consistent sense of calm. The heart just kind of cuts through the mental noise the mind keeps churning. That distinction, the wild horse mind versus the heart's quiet wisdom, it's really interesting. But, for listeners trying to figure this out day to day, the big question is, how do you know? How do you tell which voice is talking? Is this my heart or is this just my ego running wild again?
That's the crucial part, learning to tell the difference. It's absolutely vital. The ego's guidance, it often feels rigid, kind of narrow, divisive, maybe judgmental. It tends to come with a lot of internal chatter, that narrative that just goes on, defending itself, trying to prove a point. You might find yourself stuck in these endless mental loops.
Yeah, I know that feeling.
But the heart,
Yeah.
The heart feels different, it's calm, it's expansive. Its solutions often lead to win-win outcomes for everyone. And sometimes the guidance is really subtle, like these wordless realizations, just a deep knowing without a big story attached. So here's a key thing to remember. If a thought or a decision brings you a sense of peace, even if there's some pain or grease mixed in, that's okay. But if the underlying feeling is peace, that's your heart. If it creates turmoil, anxiety, requires constant justifying, that's probably the ego. Peace is your compass.
Peace is your compass. I like that. That's a really clear way to think about it. And the evidence for this, it isn't just stories. Kimberly Snyder's team at Saluna, they actually worked with the HeartMath Institute.
Right, HeartMath. They've been studying heart-brain communication for, over 30 years now? Pioneers in the field.
So what did their work actually show? What are the sort of tangible, measurable effects of this heart coherence?
The findings are really compelling. They did a study on this specific meditation, the heart-aligned meditation,
Okay.
and it showed an average increase of 29% in coherence during the meditation, and maybe even more importantly, a 10% increase in people's resting state coherence levels
Just from doing the medication.
in just 4 weeks.
Yeah.
So what that indicates is like a physiological reprogramming of your nervous system. It's shifting towards a more optimal, balanced baseline state.
Wow.
Think about it. A month of practice, and your fundamental level of calm and inner peace actually measurably goes up.
That link is just incredible. So direct. And you mentioned immunity earlier, how anger affects it. What about our hormones? Does heart coherence play a role there too?
Oh, absolutely. The research definitely goes there. Another study showed that practicing heart coherence tools regularly, just for 1 month, led to a, wait for it, 100% increase in DHEA.
100%.
Yes. DHEA, they often call it the vitality hormone, right? For overall well-being, anti-aging.
Wow.
And at the same time, those participants saw a 23% decrease in cortisol, the main stress hormone,
Without changing anything else.
without external aids. So if you connect this to the bigger picture, it means you, personally, have this incredible power within you to create hormonal balance. From the inside out, it's real internal mastery.
Okay, so given all this amazing science and the ancient wisdom backing it up, the big question is, how do we actually do this? How do we tap into this heart intelligence? The book lays out 5 distinct stages of heart awakening.
The 5 hearts.
These stages, apparently inspired by the mystic Sri Yukteswar, they offer like a map, right, to understand your heart's potential, guiding you from that incoherence towards, well, heart-brain harmony. Sounds like quite a journey.
It absolutely is. And it's a deeply personal one for everyone. The first stage on this map is called the dark heart. This represents that state of incoherence.
The dark heart, okay, what does that actually look like day to day? How would you know if you're kind of in that phase?
Well, this is where the head, the ego mind, is really running the show. It's marked by dark thoughts, lots of self-doubt, fear, and those automatic, often negative reactions to things. Like, someone cuts you off in traffic.
Oh, yeah, instant rage.
Right. Your amygdala, that primal fight-or-flight part of the brain, it just fires off faster than you can think. And suddenly you're just seething, feeling personally attacked, stuck in that dark heart incoherence. In this stage, trying to just slap on positivity, it often feels really fake, inauthentic, almost impossible sometimes.
Kimberly actually talks about her own dark heart period after her mom passed away. She says it led to really deep self-judgment, identifying as a mess and a failure when she suddenly became a single mom. It really highlights that this isn't like a character flaw, but a really tough starting point for growth that probably a lot of us can relate to at some point.
Exactly. And it's a stage we can dip back into, when old stuff, old identifications or limiting beliefs come up to be released. Now, to support yourself when you're in this stage, the sources offer some practical things, like drinking cacao and cinnamon elixirs. They have these warming sort of bliss chemical effects. Adding omega fats to your diet is great for heart and brain health. Light therapy, spending regular time outside in nature, that can really help you feel more expansive.
Yeah, just getting outdoors helps.
Totally. And daily greens like spinach, spirulina, they're linked physically to opening the anahata, the heart chakra, through nourishment. And really important, remember your environment, including who you spend time with, has a huge impact on how quickly you move through this stage.
That makes a lot of sense. So as you start to maybe shed some of those old patterns, feel a little inner shift, your heart starts gently nudging you forward, which leads us into stage 2, the propelled heart. Sounds like a real step up, a different kind of energy starting to emerge.
It really is. In this stage, the heart has started to open up a bit more. It's giving you more energy, and it's propelling you to actively look for meaning, for deeper truths. This might show up as, finally taking action on your health, changing your diet, making a career move you've been thinking about.
Oh.
You start feeling more inner stability as the heart begins to take the lead, just a little bit, and you naturally start letting go of some attachments that need to control everything.
Kimberly shares a great story here about her 3 years of chaotic backpacking, just constantly seeking what's next, right?
Mhm.
Until she had this profound spiritual moment, she says, listening to Pink Floyd on a bumpy truck in Africa, and just felt this huge sense of freedom.
Yeah, the peak into real freedom, as she calls it.
Yeah.
That was the turning point where her journey shifted. It went from chasing external stuff, external validation, to cultivating something inside. And it's important to make a distinction here. Seeking truth, seeking growth, that's productive. But restless energy, that's different.
How so?
Restlessness is driven by this deep feeling of lack, like something's missing. And that often leads to chasing external things, money, fame, approval, which ultimately are fallacies. You can't find lasting peace when you're driven by lack.
And what I found really fascinating here is the connection they make between this stage and our gut health.
Yeah.
Talking about the gut as like another brain.
Yeah, the second brain, it's amazing. Your gut has millions of neurons, produces tons of neurotransmitters, including a huge chunk of your body's serotonin.
Yeah.
And the vagus nerve, that's the superhighway connecting your gut directly to your heart and your brain. It carries all these signals back and forth, influencing your instincts, your emotions.
So gut health is key then.
Absolutely vital. Taking care of your gut with fiber, probiotics, it's not just for digestion. It impacts your mood, your mental clarity, and critically, it supports this whole heart awakening process. A healthy gut literally helps you feel more propelled.
Okay, so to help yourself in this propelled heart stage, the book suggests things like a daily power protein smoothie, self-massage to calm the nervous system,
Gentle touch.
and regular stretching, like 10 minutes, holding poses for a few breaths. It sounds like ways to handle that sort of anxious, overthinking energy and build what they call stillness muscle.
Exactly. Building that capacity for inner quiet. And from there, we move into stage 3, the steady heart. This stage is all about building real, deep inner stability. Your heart becomes this consistent anchor. For security, confidence, love, peace, you become much more resilient, less easily knocked off balance by life's ups and downs. Your heart is like your safe harbor inside.
This brings up something important, I think, that a lot of people struggle with. How do you handle strong emotions, especially anger, in this stage? There's that old idea that letting it all out is healthy.
Like the catharsis myth.
Yeah.
But the science actually shows the opposite. Those big blowouts of anger, they're not healthy. They're actively harmful. Research has found people with impulsive anger outbursts have a higher risk for coronary heart disease.
Oh, wow.
Plus, expressing anger in that uncontrolled way, it can actually reinforce the neural pathways for anger, basically keeping it alive and hurting your body.
Yeah.
Emotions really are just energy in motion. Emotion. The steady heart learns to just observe these energies without judging them, letting them pass through without creating a big dramatic story around them.
It seems like connecting this to the bigger picture, so much of our inner struggle comes from attachments and aversions, right?
Absolutely. Attachments are that constant wanting, that thirst for external happiness, thinking you must have this person or that job or this outcome to be okay. And aversions are the flip side. Fearing that certain situations will take away your love or security. Both come from that core feeling of lack and create inner turmoil. Kimberly shares her own story about realizing her attachment parenting style was really coming from her own unhealed abandonment stuff. Healing that allowed her to find, as she puts it, steady love inside of my own heart. You learn to just feel the sensations without needing to weave a whole narrative around them. Like her client Franklin, who lost over 50 pounds when he stopped using food to numb his feelings and just let them be felt.
That's a huge transformation. And what about dealing with difficult people? We all have them. If someone really pushes your buttons, how does the steady heart handle that differently?
Well, even if the other person doesn't change at all, your heart gives you the power to shift your attitude towards them. Your brain literally rewires based on your consistent inner state. Kimberly tells a story about a challenging team member, Molly. Instead of getting caught up in annoyance, she learned to stay steady inside and consciously find something to appreciate about Molly. And that actually fostered growth for both of them.
So you stop giving your power away.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You take responsibility for your inner state, regardless of what's happening outside.
And to cultivate that steadiness, the book suggests the heart-aligned steady in life practice. Plus, doing daily reflection, asking yourself questions like, how closely did I align with my heart today? What could I have done differently? What did I learn? Sounds like constant fine-tuning.
It is. It's about building awareness.
Yeah.
And for lifestyle support here, regular routines are key. What Ayurveda calls dinacharya, like consistent wake times, maybe a simple morning ritual. It grounds you, aligns your body's rhythms. Increasing fiber intake helps you feel physically grounded and steady. Gentle back bends can help open the heart chakra physically, release stuck energy. And gentle sun exposure for vitamin D and that connection to light.
That brings us to stage 4, the devoted heart. This sounds like a really deep commitment now to the inner world, a new level of integration.
It absolutely is. This is a high stage. You feel this rising sense of peace and joy. You become genuinely devoted to your inner self, to your spiritual path. Intuition, that direct knowing, becomes much stronger, guiding you to expansive creative solutions. Unconditional love, real compassion, deep care, these become your natural state. And serving others becomes a primary focus, just naturally.
Kimberly talks about committing to a devoted family life with her husband, John, realizing she had to accept her own unhealed wounds, forgive herself, forgive her parents. And she says that acceptance brought her to a whole different level of consciousness. Life felt radically different, even if the daily routines were similar.
And intuition is so key here. Research backs this up. When your heart and brain sync up, you access this deeper intelligence. You perform better. You have more clarity. Kimberly tells a story about a past business partnership where her gut, her heart, was telling her no, but her ego mind rationalized it, led to problems.
Yeah.
Contrast that with meeting her husband, John. Her heart and gut just knew, even though her mind had logical doubts, like about their different diets or something. The heart's knowing was stronger.
So at this stage, you really grasp that love isn't something you get from others, but an endless, unconditional source inside your own heart.
That's the core shift. That realization frees you up to truly love others, to connect authentically by seeing them, who they really are, without needing anything back or projecting your stuff onto them. Like the saying, to be full of love is to give love fully. No strings attached.
And how does service show up differently here? What changes?
Service just becomes natural. It's the primary focus, not out of duty, but just an overflow of the love you feel. And it can be really simple, like a genuine smile. That creates instant connection. Yogananda talked about being a smile millionaire.
I like that, smile millionaire.
Yeah. Your coherent heart field itself has a positive effect on the environment around you, subtly helping create coherence in others, even without you saying or doing much overtly.
And forgiveness seems like a really big piece of this stage, too, like deep inner work.
Huge. Forgiveness here isn't about saying bad actions were okay. Not at all. It's about releasing the heavy weight of resentment from your own heart for your own freedom. Kimberly shares forgiving her verbally critical mother allowed her to finally heal her own mother wound and see the whole situation with compassion. She mentions a client, Mary, who healed chronic acid reflux just by processing a deep mother wound through forgiveness.
Wow, physical healing too.
Yeah. The book gives a specific practice, forgive and let go to freedom. It involves generating love within yourself first, directing it to your own hurt, and then sending it to the person or situation to help release those energetic blocks.
Oh, keeping your heart warm and activated, as they say, in this devoted stage, it's like a continuous practice. Tuning in, using the tools, living from that heart space in everything you do and say.
That's exactly it. And lifestyle-wise, they suggest practicing intuitive cooking and eating, bringing a sense of sacredness, even awe, to your meals, and focusing on clearing out stuck energy, toxins, old waste from the body, because energy flows through all layers. So things like spirulina or maybe supplements like Feel Good Detoxy are mentioned to help support that inner cleansing and flow.
And that leads us finally to the ultimate stage. Stage 5, the clear heart. This sounds like oneness, total harmony.
It is. This is the stage where the ego really dissolves.
Yeah.
You merge with the universal heart. You experience samadhi, that state of profound oneness, absorption. Your heart becomes like a clear prism, just transparently reflecting and radiating light from a greater source. This is the highest state of coherence. It leads to a truly humble heart that just knows intuitively that all souls are equal.
You know, I think most of us have probably had tiny glimpses of this clear heart state.
Moment.
Yeah, those moments where you just lose yourself completely, like staring into a baby's eyes or watching an incredible sunset, or maybe being at a concert with thousands of people all swaying together. that feeling of connection.
Totally. And what's really profound here is realizing that abandoning the vain idea of separate existence, as the book puts it, means letting go of all the labels, the titles, the ways we define ourselves. The journey goes beyond the ego's need to be somebody important. It shifts to this deep truth, like Gandhi suggested, that a greater power is moving through me. You become, in a sense, nobody and everybody at the same time.
And service here, it becomes even more effortless, expansive.
Exactly. Universal service is just your natural state. It's not just about specific actions, but about simply emitting this coherent heart energy field, this light, that positively impacts everyone around you just by your presence. You radiate unconditional love, goodwill. It's a silent, powerful influence.
Yeah.
The core practice for this stage is really simple. Shift your attention to your heart. Breathe in love. Send it to every cell in your body. And then just broadcast that love out into the world, knowing your heart's electromagnetic field is amplifying light and love globally.
And the affirmation for this stage is beautiful. My heart is a light that shows other hearts the truth of their light, too. I am the heart.
Wow.
And lifestyle-wise, it's about simplicity.
Yes, embracing simplicity in everything, your lifestyle, your needs, your schedule, your meals. Just simplifying and incorporating more raw foods, sprouts, things full of vibrant life force energy to increase vitality and support that final energetic heart unlocking. Aligning your physical self with that clear, radiant heart energy.
Well, this deep dive into heart intelligence, it really offers you, the listener, a profound alternative, doesn't it? An alternative to feeling just overwhelmed by information or the pressures of life.
Definitely. From understanding the actual science of heart coherence to embracing these ancient yet practical tools that can measurably shift your inner state, you now have this comprehensive map. A map to navigate challenges, boost your health, deepen all your relationships.
The journey through these 5 hearts really shows that peace, abundance, clarity, they aren't things out there you have to chase.
Not at all. They can be cultivated, accessed from right within you, transforming your inner reality, which in turn inevitably reshapes your outer world.
So here's a final thought to leave you with.
If the clear heart can perceive the perfection in every stage of a withering rose, what hidden perfections might your own newly awakened heart start to reveal, even in the most challenging parts of your life and in the world around you?